There are thousands of DOS games. Most of them are terrible. I play one selected at random with a 20-minute time limit and record it live. This is the result. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another random DOS game show. And that's right, we have a second Microprose game in a row. So that means 20 minutes again. How about we just watch the intro?
Warning. Warning. UFO detected.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the end of the intro. This is UFO Enemy Unknown, also known as XCOM in the States, and we get choice between English, Dutch, or French. I think we'll go English. So, first off, John Broomhall's soundtrack. Eerie, creepy stuff. And this man released two of the greatest soundtracks in DOS gaming history in the same year, because John Broomhall would also go on and do the old Transport Tycoon soundtrack. So let's just hit new game and select difficulty level. XCOM is notorious for its difficulty, so we're just going to go beginner, and we get to select a site for new base. This is the global map, or the geosphere, or whatever it's called. I have played the Firaxis XCOM games, but I've never actually played this XCOM game. So this is going to be an experience, and a lot of XCOM fans are going to be like, what are you doing? So I've set a timer, and we need to select a site for a new base. So let's have a new base and call it Lawnie Land. Alright. So let's have a look at the side here. We've got a little time thing going on, which we can change the time dilation of. And as with all good things in life, it's 1999. So let's hit bases. We've got Lawnie Land here, but yeah, it looks like, I've heard about this, you can actually build more bases. Now, in the, remake, so to speak, you couldn't. You'd have your one base that would either fly about in XCOM 2 or would be stationary in XCOM Enemy Unknown. In this case, you can have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bases? Good grief. That's a lot of bases to manage. So we can either build a new base, we can get base information. So we've got personnel available already, we don't need to immediately recruit. We can transfer people from base to base, change our stores, and you can observe monthly costs and stuff. There's a business management element to it, because you're the head of the XCOM project, and that requires a bit of business nous to keep ahead of the aliens. So let's have a look at the soldiers. Jungo Iwahara and Michelin Gressier. Yeah, you're all going to die. Sorry about that. So they're all rookies, and you can equip your craft as well. That's nice. I'm just looking at all the systems, to be honest. Build facilities. Yes. So you have a series of facilities in your base which you can then expand upon to a certain degree. But I believe that, digging deeper and so on will cost more. I might be incorrect about that, but they're linked with access lifts and stuff. So we'll leave that for now. And this is the all-important bit, research. So scientists available 10, laboratory space available 50, and no scientists allocated. So I guess we can start a new project. A new research project. Do we want laser weapons, a motion scanner, or a medikit? And this is a bit like Civilization, where your nation would, research things. In this case, you're researching equipment. Let's go with the laser weapons. No reason. So we got 10 scientists, which decreases the laboratory space, or laboratory. And there we go. We've got them allocated. Progress is unknown because it's been 5 seconds. Cut them some slack, Lawnie. Okay, manufacture. So we've got engineers as well. So not only are you researching, but you're also, trying to build and produce stuff. So new production items, nothing. And you're probably looking at this and you're thinking, what? Well, in order to have production items, you need to research them in the first place. So those engineers can sit picking their nose for the time being. Collective noses. We've got transfer as well. Select destination base. So again, we don't have another base, so it's not relevant currently. And that's one of the nice things about microprose strategies in general. There's a nicer gentle start. I know, it's probably the only time somebody will use the words gentle start in an XCOM video. We've got purchase recruit. We can pick up extra soldiers. And you can see our funds there, so we could maybe afford, 100 soldiers if we wanted, but then we could afford nothing else. So it's a really sort of a philosophy thing. You could have a whole pile of soldiers and stuff, and, just throw them to the wolves and hope that you get lucky, but ultimately that's not going to work in the long term. You need trained people. So let's go to the geoscape. He also had the ability to sell stuff there. So let's have a look at the graphs. Now they won't mean much. Look at that. We've got various UFO activity and stuff, but as I have pointed out before, nothing's happened yet. So the UFOpedia will tell you about various alien life forms and research and stuff. And your goal at the minute is essentially just to sit and wait, because the next part of the game will come up very soon. And if you don't feel like sitting and waiting, you can change the time dilation. We can go a minute at a time. We can go 5 minutes. And as you can see, nothing's happening. Except UFO 1 detected. Very small, very high in the northeast. Heading in the northeast at a speed of 2,200. Right, we'll center on that, and it automatically changes the time dilation. So we can click on that, and we can see that'll bring up the information again. But if we hit intercept, we can then choose an interceptor and select destination. Right, if it's heading north and we're coming from the south, we should be able to intercept it, right? With our launch craft, our strike craft. Gosh, it's heading at some speed. Look at that compared to our interceptor. Okay, maybe not. And you're probably thinking, well, this is a bit of a fruitless endeavor. You could spend ages just desperately oh, it's hovering. You could spend ages just desperately trying to get at a UFO or something. But that's not the case, because there are occasions where the UFO will just be downed. You don't necessarily have to do anything. And it's crashed and you get to visit the site. And I remember the next part of the game Well, this might actually be an interception. We'll see. Come on. Yes, I still have it at 5 seconds. I could speed it along, but the tension is building. Because I don't know if my interceptor is any good whatsoever at, its job of intercepting. Right, just heading over Italy now. It's near the Alps. Okay. So, we need to close for a standard attack. And it's outrunning us. It's way too fast. Well, that's the end of that idea. It's just too fast. But what we can do is we can send Interceptor 2 out. And we can try a pincer. So we've got Interceptor 1 chasing it up towards the base. And we've got Interceptor 2 coming out of the base. I'm not sure you're supposed to do that with multiple interceptors, but I'm going to, because I'm different. And again, I do apologize to all the various UFO and XCOM veterans who will be looking at this playthrough and thinking, what in the blazes is he doing? Why hasn't he done this or that or the other? And the answer is, I have to protect the coast of England. Well, I tell you what, it's sped past them both. Wow. So, with no chance there. Absolutely none. It's just too fast. So, you'll see when I click there, there's multiple options. I'm going to tell Interceptor 1 to return to base, and Interceptor 2 to return to base. Because there's no point in us chasing that UFO. It's away. It's lost us. It's attacking Scotland. That's fine, right? Okay, so let's speed along. So off it goes towards Iceland, to menace Iceland. It's just hovering around, taunting us, saying, ha, I'm too fast for you. Maybe we'll upgrade our interceptors at some point. And I think this might be a problem, later in the game, if we can't get this single UFO. So I'm gonna try and intercept again. I do like that when you stop to do something, it's like, oh, hold on a minute, I need to slow the time down automatically. That's some good design, that, as you'd expect from Microprose, really. So this is hovering. We might get to intercept again. We might not, or it may well have seen us. It's not the most fascinating of gameplay elements. It's just a mini game, essentially. Right, let's try again. So standoff, standard attack. It's heading towards us. There we go. UFO crash lands. We did it! Alright, and it's in England, which is very handy. So, we'll hit crash site 1, center on that, and intercept with the Sky Ranger. Target crash site 1. It's all fairly intuitive, this overworld, this base stuff. It's not that surprising, but I just want to point out that it's effortless so far. Not the game. The game's quite tricky, but the navigation of it. I always had the impression that the first XCOM was more cumbersome, but maybe that'll happen now. We'll see. You'll see what I mean in due course. Let's just speed this up by 1 minute, because the Sky Ranger isn't as fast as the Interceptors. So, Sky Ranger ready to land near crash site 1. Begin mission. Yes. Okay. UFO crash recovery. UFO 1. Craft Sky Ranger 1. Exercise caution. There may be operatives in the UFO or around the crash site. Mission will be successful when all enemy units have been eliminated or neutralized. Recovery of UFO remains. Artifacts and alien corpses can then be initiated. To abort the mission, return XCOM operatives to transportation vehicle and click on the abort mission icon. Okay. And if you do that without sending them back, then they all die. So let's see. Yeah, let's just go as is. So, UFO turn 1. Press button to continue. Now, this is the bit that was compared by one reviewer to the controls of a nuclear sub. And I can understand why. You've got 2 layers of buttons here. And we shall go through them ourselves. This bit here is a selection box that shows you where your little squad person is heading. Now, the problem with XCOM is that it can be completely unrelenting, but the map in question that we've got here is procedurally generated. I don't know what I'm going to come into contact with when I head out here. So let's head out into the darkness. Okay, we've got a series of, well, buildings, I guess, and walls and stuff. Might be useful to go over there. I could die horribly at any second. Let's see. That looks like a crouch button. And you'll see that the crouch button actually took some energy there. So you have to be considered with your movement. Let's hit this button to change to Michelin Gressier. Now, there is the distinct possibility that the aliens are behind us. So I could be crouching by a wall and, you know, they could be just waiting in ambush. I've heard stories of there being like, oh, hit the wrong button, of people barely getting off the Sky Ranger and then not enough time units. Uh-oh. So he can't get to that wall. Okay. Well, crouch, Neil White. You're completely doomed. Gunter Schultz. And it should be obvious that XCOM's a bit like sort of NATO and so on. Or the UN. It's got all these different people working for it from various nations. Gunter has run out of energy. So he can't even crouch. He's just stood there. What a rookie mistake. And it's because they're coming out slightly further behind the other people in the Sky Ranger. And in case you didn't already pick up on it, the music in the background is just creepy. There's a real vibe, as the youngsters would say, to XCOM. Okay, well, let's just get our guys out. Let's do that much, yeah? Not enough time units. Okay. So, what if we click that? Different types of shot, perhaps, but I don't think there's any aliens to shoot. We haven't encountered anybody. Kevin Bryant appears to have a bit more energy than some people. Or maybe it's just me. Okay, last Sky Ranger dude. Get you out there. Okay. Austin Johnson. Good American name, huh? Look at him venturing forth boldly. Okay. So that's his stats. We're going to have to look for an end turn button. Hidden movement. I guess that is the end turn. So we're on to the next one. Okay, let's proceed. There does appear to be some sort of farm here or something. Yes, just you stand on that haystack. That's a good idea. But you made me do it, Lawnie. Silence you. I've never quite felt like this. I have to say, this is a unique feeling because I'm aware of the game's reputation, but I know that, oh look, you can see through the windows and everything. There's this creepy vibe. Right, okay, let's have a look. You've got that button there, brings up the stuff that your character has. You have a map. Oh, sweet. I didn't know you had one of those. So there's a general layout that's been developed either by satellite imagery or by, your Sky Ranger. That's nice, and you can see all the various people. Gunter, you just sit there. Wonder if we could take a pot shot now. Not through the window. I'm right-clicking to look around. Time units reserved for snapshot. Right. So he's crouched and he gets a chance to take a snapshot if an enemy comes into view. He was doing some kind of weird, looking around thing. Okay, what if we just head over here with Michelin Gressier? What is that? That looks alien. That glowing thing. That doesn't belong in a farmyard. Time units reserved. Okay. Let's bring them over here. This could take forever. And I might not even encounter an alien. Or get into combat. But I wish I could express in words, what this is doing to me on a psychological level. Okay, I'm going into the barn. Because, yeah, I need something to happen just before the end of the playthrough, So I'm gonna skip. Oh my god! There's something over there. And it's shooting at me. Right. I am going to switch to this character. And we're just gonna plow forward. That's a terrible idea, by the way. Okay, 1. What does that 1 mean? That means an alien is visible? Right, there. Okay. So, can you make it to cover? Sort of. Okay. Can you take a shot? I'm not sure what those buttons are doing. I really should have read the manual, let's face it. Let's crouch down. And we'll get some other... See, Kevin Bryant there is taking a hit. Go over here. What happens if you stand on that, Kevin? Did your hit points just go down there? I'm not sure. Might have just been his movement points. Timer units reserved for auto shot. Ah, of course. It was that button there on the right hand side. Come on, Kevin. Not enough time units. Kevin, no! Crouch down. He doesn't have enough time units. Oh, this could be a problem. Okay. Let's see. Auto shot. No, he doesn't have enough. Can Austin Johnson take a shot? Aim shot. No line of fire. Ah, because he's behind that strut. So, as with later XCOM games, your line of sight is important. I mean, why wouldn't it be? Can you take an aimed shot just at that alien? Yes, you can. Oh, sweet, I killed it. Yes! That is a moral victory for Lawnie. Oh, my word. I cannot believe that. I actually killed an alien. Look, his corpse is dead. And This is gonna sound crazy because I've barely scratched the surface here. But that's 20 minutes of XCOM. I can't believe it. Oh, man. Right. I'm gonna have to compose my thoughts and just talk about XCOM. What is UFO Enemy Unknown, also known as XCOM? It's a real-time base building strategy game with a geoscape that you build various alien bases on and research stuff, combined with a tough-as-nails, turn-based, squad-based strategy game. And it's all about atmosphere here. Between the sound and the graphics and the limited view, this one just evokes a feeling of fear, of exploring into the unknown, of trying to find this mysterious alien entity, and honestly, it does that better than the games that would go on to try and ape it. It's a must-play. It's a simply must-play for any serious DOS gamer, and I'm glad I finally put my toe in the water, because it's pretty obvious why this is considered one of the greatest strategy games ever made. It'll definitely feature in my top 25, and honestly, I wish I had more time with it. I could spend hours playing this. It's one of those where people rant and rave about how good it is, and they seem to be entirely validated by what little I've played of this. I went into this without a manual expecting the worst, but it was surprisingly intuitive. I didn't struggle that much with the menus. A wonderful game. And if you like me talking about random DOS games, I do it all the time. Feel free to take a look at hundreds of other videos on my channel, and if you like what you see there, you can always subscribe. And if you can manage a squad a lot better than Lawnie's haphazard attempts, you're probably one of my geoscape controlling XCOM commander patrons or members. Look at those great names. They would have no trouble with the sectoids. So yeah, hearty recommendation for everyone. It's XCOM, baby. Until next time.